business, and it's more than just the financials, and it's more than just tax savings. It's really the whole business. So there's 16 cash flow drivers. So are they getting paid quick enough? So maybe they have good sales, but the customers aren't paying, or maybe the expenses are coming at one time of the season and the customers are coming at a different time. So what how do you plan for that? Or maybe their strategy is they don't want to pay taxes. But what ends up happening is that when you need to get a loan or you need to get financing, then your business shows that you have no profit and you can't get the financing. So really understanding how cash affects all of that, and really cash is what keeps the business going. You want to keep the business healthy and profitable. And so in order to do that, you need cash in the business, and that's where I help out.
Right. Okay. And then, so I know previously you said so you focus on that with the end goal to eventually sell the business.
Exactly. So a lot of times people start these businesses and they keep them running for several years, and then they decide at one point they want to retire. And sometimes what I've seen is, oh, they're going to retire, so they stop working on the business, they stop investing in the business, they stop trying to get new clients. But so then when the time comes to sell, the value of the business is based on the revenue that makes. So three times the profit. If you're not constantly working on the business and improving the business, when it comes time to sell, you're not going to get the top dollar for it. So that's really when you need a CFO to come in and really look at the business and figure out how to increase your profits. So at the end, you set it for top dollar, not pennies on the dollar.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely a good to have like the end in mind, and then just always having something ready to be able to be sold.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then, so when we spoke as well, you said that you built out this like dashboard where you just simplified all the numbers and they can go in. And then I think you said like red, yellow, green. Can you tell us a little bit more about this dashboard?
So in a business, there's 16 cash flow drivers. Some of them are the ones that people recognize, which are your revenue and your expenses. But there's also your accounts receivable, your accounts payable, your inventory if you happen to have. The doctors, that might be the medical supplies that they buy on a regular basis. It could be also the equipment that you buy, the um, I'm so sorry, and then uh, finally is the owner draws. So there's 16 altogether. So I have a dashboard that has all of them on it, and we figure out what changes we could make that at the end would create the biggest revenue and the biggest cash uh, change for the business owner. And they don't want to have to sit there and analyze and figure all this out. So what I do is that I take that information and I make it simple. So of the 16 cash flow drivers, you will only see one or two that are yellow or red. And the rest will be green because we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to worry about those things that are going to make the biggest impact in the business.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, so let's say the business owner, they see one of these things is yellow or red. How does that then turn into an actionable item for something that they then need to do? Could you give like an example of that in practice?
Okay, so one example is the average cost of service. So we had a client that their average visit was $145, and we thought we need to increase this by 10%. So what would that entail? So we discussed which are the services that would make the biggest difference. How much would you have to increase each of the services to get to that 10% increase? And then from that, we decide, okay, what is the next course of action? And then we figure that out. We set up a strategy of what we're going to do and who's going to be in charge of it. And we make that happen. And then next month we see what changes, how that affected the bottom line and the revenue. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
what we do every month. And like that, it can be for each of the drivers.
Right. Okay. And then how about like internally with your business? What are some of the things that you guys are like projects that you guys are working on at the moment?
So we are currently working with a dentist that he is trying to improve his marketing, and he's trying to get more clients coming in through the door. So what does that entail? Nowadays, a lot of the marketing is online, so the Google. So we said, oh, what would be a great strategy to improve our Google? Well, we needed more reviews. So we set up a system where we had the hygienists have a competition. All right, we're going to see who has the most reviews. And so we're running that every month, giving them prizes for the most reviews. And in order to make it different and make it fun, some of them are really chatty and can get a lot of people to review. Some are kind of shy. So then what we did was one month it's the most reviews, the next month it's the funniest review, the next month we did a drawing for a review. So then it keeps it engaging and keeps them going. And that has improved their revenue as well as their Google ranking. So now they pop up as the dentist in the area when you look them up. And that's all from figuring out what we needed to do to improve the business.
Yeah, nice. I like that's a pretty cool initiative to have going, and it's awesome to hear that that worked. And then what I was more asking in terms of like, so for like your business, what are some of the projects that like, are you guys working on anything internally at the moment?
So we are working on a digital product, which would be a 5-year planner. So in order to see where you are now and where you want to be in 5 years and what it would take, we have a digital planner that we're working on so that we give away to the or sell to the clients so that they can figure it out and kind of work it out on their own.
Okay. And then I know when we spoke last, you also said you're looking to create some systems a little bit more in terms of your sales process.
Yes. So I am trying to create sales systems. So internally, uh, like the follow-up systems, like the emails that go out, the different follow-up steps that I need to take. And so that's one of the projects that I've been working on
Yeah.
internally
Okay.
with our
Okay.
staff.
And yeah, and what made you feel this is like, or what I would say, what made you decide to focus on this project specifically to try and improve it?
So I realized that I have a hard time with the follow-up. I get my ADHD brain, like I'm easily distracted. And so I needed the systems and the lists that help me know what
Hmm.
needs to be done. And in order for me to delegate it at one point, I need to have the systems in place so that I can say, okay, this is what I did, this was what was successful, and this is how I'm going to pass it on to the next person so they can do it just the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Having like repeatable SOPs. Yeah, that's usually I like to also just get a feel for what needs to be done, and then I can explain to someone else when they take that over. And then so do you have currently like a CRM set up with your whole sales funnel or?
No, right now I'm running it on Excel. I need to move it to a better CRM. I have
Yeah,
some of the email systems and stuff going through that, but really I need to work on a better CRM for my business.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I find that definitely helps a lot. And it's interesting as well because it's like different skill sets as well. It's like being able to like client delivery, marketing, sales. There's so many different hats that we need to wear as business owners, and this being one of them.
Yes, yes, definitely.
And then, so how do you see the industry changing moving forward
Which industry?
in terms of like what you do with like the CFO services?
See, I see it growing, and I see that business owners are really starting to see the value in having a CFO and really getting somebody who will come in and help them strategize and go for the long term. Because a lot of times, business owners are so busy putting out fires left and right that if they were able to spend the time to slow down, strategize, and plan for the long term, they do so much better, and it's so much easier for them.
Hmm. Yeah, like taking that step back and
Yes,
rather than always being in the business, working on the business essentially.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And do you see AI having a big impact on things?
Do because sometimes even coming up with ideas of different things that you can do and different strategies you can implement. AI is really great at getting the creative juices going. Now, will you be able to implement everything that the AI does? No, it comes up with 50 ideas, and it's really sometimes it's just too much. And so you have to
Yeah.
kind of take that information and see what is relevant to you and what interests you and what your capabilities are, and then use
Hmm.
that as a starting point.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Trying to just there's a lot of information, and then knowing which ones to action is definitely important. And then, have you guys implemented AI much into your business?
I do. I use it. It helps me brainstorm and to get ideas on different things that we can work on, and even wording of stuff and grammar. It's
Yeah.
always nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
stuff like
It's
that.
yeah, that's kind of what I do as well. Like I've started using Claude recently. Previously, I was always like ChatGPT, and it's just helped so much, making just like even just like you get the general gist of what you want to say in the email, and then you get Claude something to just tidy it up, make it sound more professional, maybe take out some of like the emotion that you might have or something, and then it just gets the point across a lot more. And yeah, it's helped me so much with that.
Yes, yes. I enjoy Claude as well. I think it has a softer tone than some of the
Hmm.
other AIs, and so I've used that on several occasions for things that I've worked
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it just sounds more like a human. The only thing that keeps driving me crazy is the little like EM dashes that it just keeps putting in every single time, and I always have to tell it to remove that. And every single, even though when like I try to make rules for it to do it, to not have it. Um, but yeah, that's the one thing I would say that just really drives me crazy.
Yeah, but they're learning every day, and I think eventually
Yeah,
it'll
mhm.
get better. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I hope so. And then, so I always like to ask, let's say you could get a magic AI robot to come into your business and start tomorrow. What task would you get that AI robot to do and why?
Uh, what would I get it to do? Good question. I guess sometimes to send um, certain messages out to people, like initial contact messages, and try to find people that would be a good fit for the business. Sometimes I think would be a great thing.
Yeah. So kind of like doing like the outreach.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then so what's on for the next couple of months for the business? What are some of the things that you guys are going to be doing?
So one of the things that I'm very excited about is end of year. So all our goals have been met for this year, and so now we start planning for 2026. What are the big goals for next year, and how do we want to grow our businesses? And so that
Hmm.
is the most exciting part, planning for the next year. It's going to be a great year.
Yeah. Okay. And then so what are some of the goals, I guess, or you haven't thought about next year yet? Do you have anything in mind?
Uh, that I would love to do. I want a big vacation, 2 week
Hmm.
vacation. That is my big summer goal is a long trip. And for the business, I'm looking to more than double our revenue. So those are really aggressive goals for next year. So I can't wait.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah, double the revenue. And then with that, do you have like a game plan in terms of how you plan to double the revenue?
Yeah. So we are working with a few strategic partners and some referral partners that are really kind of are. I'm very excited to be working with them, and I know I see great alignment coming for the next year. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And then I know we're starting to run out of time here. So one of the things I also always like to ask is, what has been one of the most valuable lessons that you've learned in business?
Don't deny the struggle. I saw that in a movie, and I find that sometimes we want to take some easy way out, and in reality, you have to push through the things that are hard to get to the good answers. Because you can take an easy route, which is I don't care, I'm not going to worry about it, I'm just going to ignore it. But it's through the struggle where you go head on to the things that are causing you pain and struggle and pushing through it and trying to find the answer and working through it, that's where you get to the to the to the next level and to the growth.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Do you remember which movie that was in? I think
Agatha All Along.
the what's that?
Agatha All Along. It's a series that's now on Prime.
Ah, okay. No, I haven't heard of that. It seems it seems similar to, I think it's like Ryan Holiday, The Obstacle is the Way.
Yeah.
Similar to that. Cool. Well, it's been great having you on the podcast. Where can people go find a little bit more about you and what you guys do?
Come to our website at Delphi Advisory Services, and you can find out all about what we do and how we can help your business.
All right, cool. Well, I'll include a link to that in the show notes below. It's been great having you on. You guys have been listening to the Business Growth Podcast. Until next time, keep growing.